So earlier today, Brian Gutekunst had a press conference with the media, and it was about a 17-minute press conference. So if you want to see it, definitely go find it and check it out. I'll try to link it in the description down below if you haven't had a chance to watch it. But I basically have 5 major takeaways from his 17-minute press conference, and so I sort of want to go through the biggest things that he did talk about in this press conference. First off, the biggest one was sort of talking about Davante Adams and sort of how they decided to go their separate ways. He said once they got to discussions with Davante after the season, they both basically decided it was best for Davante as well as the organization moving forward. And he said he understood the reasons for why Davante wanted to leave. And watching Davante's press conference going to the Las Vegas Raiders, it really seemed like he wanted to go back with Derek Carr, his old friend. And then also, of course, it was a big move for his family. It felt like it was best for him because his family lives over there in California. So basically, both sides agreed that it was best for them to move on. The Packers decided to trade him and, of course, get those picks in return. So then moving on to the second thing, discussing Davante Adams leaving and sort of the Packers' need to obviously fill the hole that Davante Adams has now left. And he talked about the importance of the Packers getting draft picks in return for Davante Adams going. And he mentioned how having 4 picks in the top 2 rounds definitely gives the Packers ammunition to replace Davante Adams. And he said they won't replace him with just one player. It'll be more of a multifaceted approach where, probably adding different kinds of guys will maybe accumulate to replace Davante Adams. They're not going to get him. They're not going to replace Davante Adams with him being the best, wide receiver in the NFL. They're not going to find another Davante Adams. So he made it clear that having those top 4 picks definitely was important for the Packers when it comes to trading Davante Adams. And when asked about potentially drafting multiple positions or multiple players at one position in the draft, he said the Packers in the past have not shied away from drafting, multiple players at one position if they needed to. And I feel like this could be a draft where, obviously, with the lack of wide receiver now, it could be a draft where the Packers come in here and draft multiple wide receivers, which I honestly hope happens. And then asked about free agency, he said, if the right player was there, we could acquire him. I don't feel like we have too many restrictions there. So now, of course, with Davante leaving, it freed up about $20 million more in cap space because he was on the salary cap, on the franchise tag. And I put a video out earlier today, and right now the Packers have about $15.9 million in cap space. So still a little bit more room to move. And of course, if we take a look at the Packers last year, they have the entire offseason to make some moves, add some free agents. Like I think Devondre Campbell was added. It was either May or June last year, I can't remember. And then, of course, during the season, adding Rasul. So we never know when the Packers will come in and add a free agent. It may not be soon. It could, be a little bit longer down the road. So it will, of course, be interesting to see what the Packers decide to do there. And then this was an interesting one that I thought he mentioned here. So the third thing. So he said that we'd like to see Aaron retire as a Packer. And he also said that that's one of Aaron Rodgers' goals is to retire as a Packer. So as a Packers fan, I was excited to see that just because we've heard Aaron in the past say that he wants to retire with the Green Bay Packers, and part of me was wondering, during this whole situation, if maybe that had changed, maybe he actually decided he wanted to go on and play for another team. But from Brian Gutekunst, Rodgers still wants to retire as a Packer, so I hope he does. I hope he finishes his time off here in Green Bay because I don't really honestly want to see him go to another team. So that was, I think, exciting news, at least for me personally. Probably some of you guys feel the same way as well. And then the fourth thing, we have one of the reporters asked, can Rasul Douglas play nickel? Because, of course, the Packers decide to re-sign Rasul Douglas. And now, of course, we have Jaire, Eric Stokes, and Rasul Douglas, all guys who mainly played on the outside. So the reporter asking, can he play nickel? And he said that Brian Gutekunst said he really likes the versatility of this entire cornerback group. And he says Rasul can definitely do some of that playing in the nickel. He said he's very physical in the run game, which is an important part of playing nickel. But he did say that he believes that all 3 of those corners have the ability to move inside if they need them to. So they just have a very versatile cornerback group, which I think the Packers secondary next season is going to be legit. Even though we lost Davante, I think this defense is going to be even better than last season. And then the final topic here, the fifth thing here. So he was asked about Jaire Alexander potentially extending him. So right now, Jaire is in the 5th-year option of his rookie deal. And so I think it definitely is important for the Packers to get him extended for the long term sometime, whether it's during the season, before the season, after the season. And Gutekunst said that they would love to get Jaire extended. And he says, we'll see how that goes. And he said they have been in communication with Jaire Alexander's representation. So it seems like they are having some kind of discussion, maybe trying to think of, okay, what could a contract look like? And obviously, they're probably going back and forth deciding what a number could look like, how many years, all that kind of stuff. So it is good to see the Packers are working on that at this moment. Who knows when a decision will come on that or when an agreement will happen. But it is good, I think, to see the Packers working hard to keep Jaire Alexander back here for the foreseeable future in Green Bay. So those are the 5 biggest things I found there, and there were more things he talked about in that press conference, but I wanted to sort of give a summary there. And so I'll leave the link in the description down below, his entire press conference, if you want to go watch that. But thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you haven't subscribed and you want to see more Packers content, I'll put out Packers news on this channel pretty much every single day. So feel free to subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.